All right, everybody, we're live the Friday, December 24th on our calendars, and that means that weekly AMA with the co-founder and CEO of Envelop NIFTSY, Alex Shedogubov, is live. So greetings to you, Alexander. Glad to have you today on our AMA.
Hello, glad to meet everybody on Christmas Eve.
Yeah, Merry Christmas. All right, so dear guys, please subscribe on the YouTube channel if you didn't do that before. And we are waiting for your questions in the live chats on the right side if you're on desktop. You know everything. It is no need to tell you the rules of AMA session. The new year is upcoming. We need to know the resume of the results of today's of this week. So Alex, please tell us, not briefly, in details, what successful task the NIFTSY team has successfully accomplished this week.
So the main important thing is about development that updated version of our protocol is now in test with our partners, also from our digital. So the main that we added 1155 format here, see there, and also functions about multi-royalty, which is very important. And so we are beginning to test our non-pledge rental functions as well. As for collaborational side, we signed several MOUs and NDAs. One is with interesting company World Money. So they work like fight crypto bridge provider. So they got licenses to offer these activities. So we got several collaborational ways. So these guys are kind of making new things, selling bank cards like NFTs. So we will enrich such NFT with collaterals and maybe some additional functionalities. And also, as I announced last week, we were granted by Swarm. And with them, they had an event about their community. So they are building decentralized storage, and their CEO also announced that we are to build together a new type of NFTs, unstoppable NFTs. That meant that this NFT will hold their metadata in Swarm, decentralized storage, and NFT itself will be able to pay for storing its metadata when it's needed on demand of the smart contract of the storage. So this will for us to update our protocol for this feature. So definitely we'll do it, because not only for Swarm it will be needed. We got lots of requests about our gaming partners who can implement this functionality into their games when we will not need to unwrap the whole NFT, and will be able to take part of the tokens from the collateral. So there are plenty of mechanics where it's needed.
Excellent. So guys, please write on chat, are you satisfied with the results of today's week and hold the results of all the year, all the 2021 year, and which you are with Envelop NIFTSY are moving together to your goals. So we've already got a couple of questions live chat. That's great. Phil Brodkin asks again and again, what is the utility function of the NIFTSY token? Let's remind again, Alex, about the utility function. For what goals do we need, do our viewers need, will need NIFTSY token in their lives?
So it's a good question. Every AMA is asked, because we are mainly B2B product. So every B2C holder will be interested. Why do he need this token? The main functionality is in micro DAOs. So to say in general, every use case will be like a micro DAO, and with every partner we work on revenue sharing model. So we plan, when we launch first version of DAO, that we can create micro DAOs where we not only invest our time and funds to create each case with a partner, but we'll also give a kind of allocation to all our users who can also participate by staking NIFTSY tokens. So they will also share some spend part, but they will also get part of income generated by this case. So any play to earn game, marketplace, or any minting platform can become such a case, or just general platform for royalty distribution as well. It's the main functionality. Also, this concept was introduced by Vladimir Popov, because when we discussed inside team about functionalities, we imagined the situation that, for example, in general, we wanted that our token was built in to the protocol. So every royalty and every collateral replenishment could be made only in NIFTSY token, but it would in that case prevent our fast onboarding of the partner. So we divided it from the protocol and imagine the situation that not enough protocols, not enough partners would like to utilize NIFTSY inside it. That's why we created a concept of micro DAO, where in any case there is a utility of our token. And as we are not only the protocol, but as well as Index and Oracle, so there will be functionalities where NIFTSY token will be needed to be paid to get a result or analyze data or creation of different cases, or maybe for some advanced functionalities.
Well, by the way, Alex, it's going. I would like to ask you, perhaps this AMA is going to be the last AMA in this year. I don't know. Are we planning to do AMA session on Friday, December 31st in the new year? How do you think? Will we be planning AMA session? If you want.
I think we can hold, but move it earlier in time. Just not to prevent everybody from celebrations.
Okay, so this is not last IMA session in this year. Okay, we've got the last week, upcoming week. So we've got very good questions today. There are a few of them. They are super professional. I love them. So I am proceeding. That's great that you started to talk about DAO, because Euro Trading asks, is the DAO available right now for investing? He specifies, or she specifies. How would you answer?
So the page of DAO is not, but NIFTSY tokens are available on the market. And as we have survived through this dump, so I think it's rather pleasant price levels if you want to join the DAO, because as I mentioned, all the functionalities will be available. So we are widening with our partners who are implementing it, and several cases will be launched. So this week was as for the progress, I didn't mention maybe one of the most important, because we integrate our solution into ScaleSwap Launchpad. They held wrapped NFT pre-IDO of Capscoin on their platform. So it was success. All tokens were bought out less than 10 minutes. So we plan to duplicate this case to other launchpads and offer them. So we are now creating kind of proposal, and our BizDev team started working this week. So I think that it will be a kind of a good evolution when launchpads also can offer tokens with built-in vesting periods inside these NFTs, and maybe they can have pre-IDOs or just simultaneously with IDO sell some tokens with vestings. So.
Well, thank you. Rec.Dot asks another great question: how the oracles work in case of Envelop. Let's remind the role of oracles and how they work in the all Envelop model.
Yeah, so we are creating the model of Oracle based on the key mechanics at the current stage. So when we will grow with enough users, more than 1 million. I think in 2 years it will be opened. It meant to be a kind of anti-fraud and scoring system to give users all the info about NFTs, to divide them into classes that are totally good enough, that some are moderate and some dangerous. So this will give info. Also, because we are building up collateral inside, other good functionality is to estimate all the assets that are inside the collateral, because it's possible to be tens of assets inside the collateral, and for a moderate user it will be hard and time consuming to search each assets with its exchange rate. So it will also give such info, and also it will prevent from buying dangerous activities, because we suppose that there will be scams around it, because we are in blockchain space, and whenever new technology gets on stage, there are a lot of such guys who are trying to check how crypto enthusiasts are attentive and fact checking. So these are the main utility of the Oracle. And if we go deeper into our roadmap, it will be an important part, and maybe one of the most important in our cross-chain mechanics, where it will serve to realize wrapped NFT cross-chain transfer of liquidity and assets, and control this process from one chain to another chain.
Well, so Waxmax, we hardly do agree with you that the idea of wrapping NFTs gaming is quite cool. And by the way, check this week AMA session with new Envelop partner, Safe Hamsus League. You might have known this game. This is the gaming project, very famous game, and they have partnered with Envelop for using the wrapping of NFT in gaming. This is a super highly, I would say, educational AMA session for all gaming lovers, how the gamers will be using wrapping NFT, why Envelop is so valuable for gaming. So we are proceeding to check your questions. Vladimir Romanova asks, hey there, what do you think about DAO in future? Will it be popular? Totally yes, Vlad. But Alex, how do you explain why DAOs as a decentralized autonomous organization, as a form of cooperation, will be so popular in future? I do believe that.
I think that it's even popular now, and there are appearing lots of DAOs now, and in future we see how they will interact with each other and communicate. And here also they will need such tools like our Oracle to estimate one DAO and another DAO, to understand how their partner is good or not, and what activities he has created. So it also will be a kind of decentralized scoring system, not only based on on-chain mechanics, but also off-chain. And as well, we'll are working on tools how to attract users to give kind of this rates. So working on this mechanic. Definitely, it's bright future. And also, as we communicate with our partners and several VCs, they also see big potential of DAOs in the nearest future, especially metaverse.
Well, dear viewers, we're a bit disappointed because you are asking the questions that were previously being often asked in previous AMA session. Please give us more difference. Do not ask the question we've already answered in previous AMA session. Let's make our AMA sessions more deep dive into the specific. But nevertheless, if you asked, we will be answering because the answers are already given. So how to start farming in Envelop, Alex? Farming.
So you just go to on the link app.envelop.is/farming, and there you will see farming page. You can choose what amount of NIFTSY tokens you are to farm, choose a period for farm, and see what APY you will get. Then execute the transaction, and you will get in response wrapped NFT, which will be used to harvest your rewards, or you can afterwards use this wrapped NIFTSY to maybe to resell it on OTC market or just any other marketplace, because number of people who can stake is limited there. So I think in nearest future we'll be able to close this staking queue.
Well, Vernon Ward, we've already answered about utility in the beginning of this AMA session. We won't repeat, so please rewatch this AMA. Alex kindly and in details explain how the utility function works in the case of Envelop. A great question from the guy who's his name is mine, Eugene Zhu. Have you ever heard, he asks, about Coval, C-O-V-A-L? It looks like your competitor, guys. And what advantages can you point out against them? The first question, Alex, have you ever heard about the project named Coval? C-O-V-A-L.
About Coval, I haven't heard this. I heard about Coval, but they make other things than we do, but about Coval not.
They are not the competitors of Envelop, you mean, right?
Yeah, Covalent not. But Coval, haven't heard. We'll just look what they do. So as we saw, some competitors, they mainly focus on some on wrapping, some on fractionalizing, on DeFi mechanics, but we are mostly focusing on use cases of implementation, gamify, and so about use cases for different spheres. And we are not only making only the protocol, but as well as Oracle and Linux, which will make our solution more flexible and more valuable for all our partners.
Okay. Simultaneously, two questions about the future of NFT markets. Koreanet asks, what do you think about NFT market development in general? There's not a future about NFT market development in general. Master DeFi asks, what do you think about the future of NFT market? Let's unite the answer, Alex. NFT market development and in general, the future of NFT market. All your thoughts and conclusions.
So I think that NFTs definitely will have much more sense that they do now, and we see that it's a kind of evolution of NFTs and its use cases. Especially, we'll try to bring this sense by adding our collaterals with the concept of skill tokens. We are working on this concept with Bolis as our partners from Block Sports, a side project of Block Sports. So this will let all owners of NFTs to customize it according to the skills that are set by gameplay, and so it will give more interest. And maybe we'll see more formats of NFTs. There are plenty of now, but we see that the most popular are 721 and 1155. They stay like kings. That's why in our project we decide not to create new formats, but work with current and wrap them, adding new functionality and leaving the same format.
Well, so Ultradon asks how Envelop plans to get new clients. Let me specify this question. Am I right, Alex, that the Envelop solution is for B2B clients, or am I mistaken? And B2C customers, physical persons, may also use Envelop solution. Let's specify. And if I'm mistaken and the Envelop clients are on the B2B, so how Envelop plans to acquire new B2B partners and clients in 2022?
As for B2B, the main acquisition point is the work of our BizDev team. So it works rather good. And we see big interest. As we focus on B2C, we got the app for all B2C users, which is free now. And we'll also act with our B2C user through our B2B partners as well. So we are always updating our solution, and I'll give these updates to our partners. And as for attracting more B2C users in beginning or mid-January, we'll start one event. I think you'll definitely like it. So just stay tuned. I will just spoil our marketing, their work.
Okay, the very popular question comes from Scarface. He asks, is wrapping option already alive? Yes, it is. It's alive. So Alex, explain how many wrap tokens.
So you should go to on the link app.envelop.is. There you will see our DApp. You can choose chain. It can be Ethereum, Binance Smart Chain, Polygon. Then you need to enter number of smart contract, ID of the smart contract. You'll see preview. Then you will be able to choose what token will be charged on every transaction. If you decide to make collateral replenishment on every transaction, and also you can set percent of royalty which will you receive, or you can just put static collateral inside. You can choose different tokens, and after you wrapped, you can also add tokens inside collateral. And there is option to make a time lock and value lock for this NFT. Afterwards, you will see a final preview, and if it's all okay for you, you just press wrap button, wait while transaction will pass, and then you got your wrapped NFT with all assets or conditions you have set up.
Well, Eugene Z, thank you for clarifying. He clarifies that the Coval project is named as a Circuits of Value, Coval, right? Circuits of Value. They were recently listed on Coinbase. Thank you. We will check that. Thank you for the information. We're proceeding, and let's remind Tony Black how games or gamers or gaming studios, game providers in general can work with Envelop solution, real use cases. Let's remind again.
Let's start from the first ones. It's of course connected with the collateral and wrapped NFTs. So in general, when I form collateral from different assets, the simplest way is the more valuable collateral, the more powerful game item is in basic. Other more interesting way is that in collateral we make a proposal of skill tokens, so that every token stands for each skill of the characters: attack, defense, speed, armor, and so on. The game devs can, for example, adjust this to be for different current tokens traded on the market, or even invent their own tokens, which will stand for the skills, and it will also give them additional selling points. As we are working on upgrading of our protocol, there could be a possible situation when users not only just buy these tokens and put inside collateral, but as they pass inside games, these collaterals, these tokens will be also taken out of the collateral. For example, when you fight in a battle, the armor is diminishing, and as such, you had maybe 10 armor tokens. At the end of the battle, you get 8 armor tokens. It will be, I think, more customizable and interesting gameplay. The third, and I think maybe the most interesting use case, is about non-pledge rentals. When we offer this functionality, users will not be obliged to pay any pledge to take some NFTs for rent. And also we are integrating this function with our digital, the metaverse of Vikings, and the marketplace of game items. So on their marketplace, there will be trade not only their NFTs, but also from their partner games. So they also got good demand, and I think it will boost all secondary market when the users will not be obliged to pay pledges, and the process will be automated. Other use cases are about kind of drop boxes inside games, or AR or VR games. Also, we are working on the concept of AR game with objects that be collected and contained inside some assets. So these are the main cases, but our partners also adjust these cases for their own gameplay, and they sometimes modify.
Okay, Mr. Collins asks about using Envelop solution on the financial markets. He says he read our plans to work with financial markets. What is it about? How Envelop may be used with financial markets?
Now we can be used at current stage to wrap assets and to transfer them in one transaction. So you can put a kind of portfolio inside one NFT token and transfer it in one transaction. It's kind of now, or you can resell it maybe for some financial entities. It can be used to make indexes and to sell them to their clients. But the main advantage of this index is that it contains assets inside it, not just the contract which stands for these assets, but the owner will also get all the assets in one transaction. And I think it's also a good selling point for these financial entities. If we move, I think, half a year or a year, we'll implement our technology into tokenization of payment channels. They are also as well known as roll-ups, and cross-chain mechanics, where also wrapped NFT will be able to transfer unused liquidity from these roll-ups. And finally, we are forwarding to decentralized derivatives. Especially this difference will be that these derivatives will be secured. So on each new derivative need to be secured on previous level, unless it will be able to create new level derivative. So it will also help to solve this problem of this market, and this is the largest market ever.
Thank you. And the last question for today's AMA comes from Eugene ZU. Eugene, thanks for your active participation in today's AMA. He specifies and asks, I know Circus of Value or Coval have a patent for their technology, Do you plan, asks Eugene, to get the patent? How do you plan to protect technology from copying? The intellectual property question, the great question, very great question. What may we say?
It's a very good question, especially in the Web3 world, where we are working open source. So our protection is only in our use cases, our architecture, or that we are contained of 3 parts. Anyway, the best protection is to be the first, and that the others will copy you, and you will give more functionality, more attract new clients and the biggest clients from the market. Also, we are working to expand our partnership network, and also to attract partners. I suppose we will close one interesting deal in January. In the beginning, we moved forward with this big partner that I announced. After we sign the contract and give funds, I think we can announce it. So this is the only way in our decentralized world of open code. So we got to live with it.
Well, and the bonus question has come from Eugene Z again, and this is the great question I would love you to answer. He asked, I don't know if you have that, but have you ever thought about timer for unwrapping? How the time lock works for unwrapping, Alex?
The person who sets up this timer, or maybe if we say about multiple wrappings, when we got clients, they say exact date where the unwrap will be available. So this means that when this condition meets, the owner of this NFT is able to unwrap it. Before this time comes, it's impossible. If you say about automatic unwrapping, we didn't thought about this technology, but because also there is a need of execution, and maybe it can happen that the person who owns this NFT with assets maybe just don't want to unwrap it. Also, because in some cases, when we got original NFT and wrap assets inside, we got when unwrapped the original inside NFT back and assets. But if we got a kind of wrapped emptiness, with the same metadata. So this kind of a shield or outlay will be disappeared when we just get the assets inside, especially when we talk about transferring liquidity. So it's for auto wrapping.
Well, and I will recap, we'll wrap this AMA with the warm words from Eugene Z. He's our fan. I realize. Thank you for your time. And he says, I like your product and I have your tokens to support it. And thanks to Metascope. Thanks for you, Eugene.
Thanks, Eugene.
Great. Warm words. So thank you very much, guys. Subscribe to the channel. Join our Telegram chat. Rewatch this AMA. I will put soon the recap with time codes with the questions asked. And don't miss the last AMA with Alex and the last AMA I have with our partner on the last week of 2023 year on the next week. So stay tuned and see you and the next AMAs on the last week, last AMAs and the passing year. We are not giving you alone. We will be with you at the year upcoming. So thank you very much for your questions. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Все, мы закончили.
Слушай, вот полчаса мне кажется.